member for Fredericton, Grand Lake, and Leader of Sprady.
Mr. Speaker, it's my understanding that several schools in the Grand Lake riding are facing reduced numbers of teachers. Chipman Forest Avenue High School will be reduced by 0.25 teaching positions. Minto Elementary will be cut by 2 positions, and Minto High cut by 1. Principals and teachers alike are facing serious burnout already with an underfunded inclusion program along with a reduction of courses offered at Minto High. I want to make a very important point. Less than 10 years ago, the government spent almost $1 million renovating the trade shop at Minto High. Now, with this reduction of teachers, those trades courses may not be offered in the fall session. So my question is for the Minister of Education. Will he reverse this decision, and what does he plan to do to make sure rural schools get the teachers they need to educate the children?
The Minister of Education.
Mr. Speaker, thanks very much to the member for the question. And the legislation is clear that once the department sends out money to districts, the districts decide how those are going to be allocated, and there's a funding formula for class composition. But his question is important because it gets to the heart of why we need to have a broad-based discussion around making sure our education system is world-class and ready for the 21st century that we're already nearly a fifth of the way through. We've got to look at things like making sure that we have got French immersion or French language training programs available to every single student in this province, so that we can have the goal that the Premier has mentioned repeatedly as being a priority for this government of ensuring that New Brunswickers can actually be ready to be able to communicate in both official languages. We need to make sure that we've got the trades back in our schools. This is going to require collaboration from all parties in this legislature. There'll be a summit in education coming up the 16th to 18th of October of this year. I'm looking forward to inviting members of all parties in this legislature to join me in that as we can work together to make New Brunswick's education system world-class. Thank you.
The member for Fredericton, Grand Lake, and Leader of Sprady.
Mr. Speaker, I want to be very clear. We don't need a summit on the trades. What we need is teachers in the school teaching the trades in the courses for the students. Mr. Speaker, it makes no sense. We can talk about formulas as one size fits all across the province. It's not working for rural schools. Minto High will be losing teachers, which will directly result in a loss of trades for the students. We talk about the economy in New Brunswick, that there's a labor shortage, yet we don't have enough teachers to teach the students in the high schools to get them into the colleges to practice in the trades. So we're working backwards. So I will ask again, the Minister of Education, what will he do to reverse these changes to make sure the trades will continue to be offered at Minto High?
Minister of Education.
I will repeat part of, Mr. Speaker, repeat part of the answer because it's relevant. We have something called the law, and there's an Education Act, and it restricts my ability to do things in my department as it restricts all the other honourable members here who serve as cabinet ministers. I am not able to interfere in the process the member has just described, beyond my willingness to absolutely work with the member to go and talk with folks in the district and the schools, and I extend this offer to anyone else, and I've done this with several members on all sides of the House, to work to try and see if we can make sure that we have the right courses in the right places. But I mentioned the summit because we do have to look at the way that the education system is run, because the problems the honourable member described are functions of a system that, in terms of its structures, does not make sense, that don't work, that I constantly hear these complaints. I get emails from people asking me why I can't make a bus stop be in a certain location. I don't have the legislative power to do that. We've got to make sure that we have structures that meet the needs of 2019. That's what we're going to do at the summit, and I look forward to the members' cooperation in that process. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
La députée de Caraguette.